So, are you, as a man of God, going to need God's help to help you to find your kingdom treasure? Yes, you are. You are going to need God's help to give you, as a man, the eyes to see. Because, to be honest with you, God's treasures are all around you, most definitely, if you have eyes to see them. You can walk past treasure all day long and just your eyes not be able to see them. You know, you are going to need God's help to open your eyes. The opening of your eyes is a very important thing. You know, you could be married to a kingdom treasure right before your eyes and not even see her, and start desiring something that you think is a treasure, but it's actually fool's gold. You know what I mean? And how many times have we as men been led astray by fool's gold? You think you got some gold, but it ain't no gold. May we have eyes to see as God sees. And you know what? You have to be able to see the treasures of God's kingdom and to value these women as such. And I think many times us men are not valued. We're not honored, we're not respected, we're not treated with love and kindness and compassion, and we're easily just thrown away, discarded as if we're worthless. What man wants to be treated as if he's worthless and not valued by women? There's a problem in our culture where women do not value men. And so for you women out there who are lonely and hurting and praying for a husband, do you need to learn how to value men of God? Yes, I think you do. When you don't appreciate something, we get the message. When you don't appreciate us men of God, we get the message. You don't value us, so we're out of here. You know what I mean? Like that. When you don't value a man of God, and you don't see us as the treasures that we rightfully are, and all that we bring to the table, oftentimes, and sadly so, there are many women of God who sees a man of God's value based on how much he earns. And so a treasure like myself, and I don't say that in any kind of prideful way, I know who I am, and I don't need a woman to validate my worth and my value. I know that I have value in God's eyes. I know this, and I don't need a woman to validate my own worth. I don't need that. I don't need the world to tell me that my value, who my value is and what my value is. I don't need that. I don't need the world to validate my worth by how much is in my bank account, because these pieces of paper do not define my worth. It does not. And so, yeah, I know, I apologize. My camera work on this camera, this action cam that I have in my hand, camera work is probably not the best. I probably need to have it fixed on a tripod and just said it somewhere. But see, God puts treasures, his treasures, in vessels of clay. God puts kingdom treasures in vessels of clay. And I tell you what, as a man of God, I have, money has a purpose, it has utility, it has a function. It does. There is utility in having money. I could buy stuff. But that money does not and will not ever satisfy the longings of my soul. It will not. I am a man who stores up treasures in heaven. That is what I do. And I don't seek after the treasures of this earth. You cannot serve both God and money. You cannot. And if you're a man who is preoccupied with pursuit of wealth and material possessions, you cannot serve God and money as a woman and as a man. And that's not something that I even desire. And so, there are many women out there who look at me, man, bro, you ain't got nothing. Yeah, I ain't got no material possessions, but I got wealth of the kingdom. The wealth of the kingdom of God. The imperishable kingdom of God. And anything else, anything other than that, store up for yourself treasures in heaven, where moth doesn't come in and thief does not come in and destroy and steal. That is the purpose and plan of a man's life, because I guarantee you, if you have a woman who only wants you for the material possessions that you have, what happens when those material possessions are gone? She's gone. She's leaving you, bro, if you ain't got the money. That's the reality of women who are driven in pursuit of material possessions. She's leaving you the moment you cannot give her those things. And so, and to be honest with you, that type of woman you don't want anyway. You don't want a woman who only sees your value and your worth based on the material possessions that you own. I don't want that type of woman. Get out of here. Carnally minded, superficial women have no value to me as a man. Carnally minded women who are superficial, exteriorly, and the same thing with men, right? Because us men, we see women physically on the outside, their exterior appearance, and the attraction that comes along with that. But that, the physical, the outside, what she looks like on the outside, attracts a man, right? We know this. We know that men are very visually motivated. And those physical things attract a man. But those things are not enough to keep a man. You can attract a man, but can you keep a man? That is the question that many women have been pondering for all these years. It's not enough to attract a man. Are you going to keep that man? It's not enough to attract a woman. Are you going to keep that woman? And so, women that wants and desire money will never be satisfied with what you have, with the material possessions you have. They'll always be searching for more, always be longing for more. And I'm not chasing after a woman who only wants me for what I have. I don't, and I will not chase a woman for that. Charm is deceitful, and beauty is fleeting. The beauty you think you got is going to be gone. All you women out there who think you're going to attract a man behind your body, and you got your behind out there, you're showing your behind, hoping to lure him into pursuing you, and then you start gaining those pounds, and those stretch marks come, and those breasts start sagging, and then the man who is chasing you in pursuit of your physical assets, your physical assets are depreciating, honey. I mean, let's be real. Physical assets depreciate. Your house depreciates. Your car depreciates. Your body depreciates. And then what happens then when a man says, you don't have any value to me anymore because your physical assets have depreciated to me. It's not enough to attract someone. You got to keep them. So, if you've already watched my video on how to catch, because that's really what you're trying to do in the whole marriage game. You're trying to attract someone and keep them for the duration of your life. Women are trying to attract and keep, but your physical assets ain't gonna be enough to attract and keep a man, because your physical assets shall depreciate. Beauty is fleeting. As a woman, what you got that's gonna, what do you, as a woman, and this is a question that I have to ask for all you women in the world, all you women, what do you have as a woman that another woman doesn't have? What do you have that any other woman on the face of the earth doesn't have? Women come equipped with certain hardware, right? We know this. So you ain't got nothing that another woman don't have physically.